Good morning, boys and girls. All right, we are on to chapter 23 in Swindle. The action is heating up. All right. Now there's a second dog in the house that's trying to protect that card. And right at that moment, they were getting into using the blowtorch to get into the safe. So it looks like they got the card. Perhaps. Let's find out. Chapter 23. All right, so now we start across the street with Mr. Mulroney, Eli Mulroney, that is. The backgammon tournament stood at 13-9 when the barking started. Listen to that racket, Eli Mulroney complained. Leave it to that pal o' mine to have the two loudest dogs in creation. Logan sprayed a mouthful of ginger ale all over himself. Two dogs? The old man nodded in disgust. I thought Luther was bad enough. Couple of days ago, Pilo mine brought in a rent-a-beast. Makes Luther look like a hamster. I hear he's got some baseball card that's supposed to be valuable. There was nothing Logan could do but continue the game and try not to think about what might be going on across the street. Besides, he reflected, the team had a lookout, Melissa, in the bushes. If things got too often, Griffin would walkie-talkie her to go for help. Remember? Ben was on lookout, but he was also taking a nap. A shiny black SUV moved slowly up and down the street, its driver hanging out the window, peering at address numbers. It passed the Mulroney house, then made a U-turn and pulled up into the front porch, big motor idling. Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for a 531 Park Avenue extension. Mr. Mulroney pointed to the Palomino home. That's it right there. Can't see a blame thing with that street light out. The way they run this town should be a federal crime. Thanks. The SUV moved away from the curb, pulled into the Palomino driveway, and parked. Mr. Mulroney handed Logan the dice. Your turn, Logan. Hey, you look like you've just seen a ghost. What's wrong? It was much worse than that. Logan was watching the driver get out of the car and walk up to the steps of the Swindle front door. Oh boy, this could get interesting. Griffin's eyes stung from the sweat pouring off his forehead. Remember, they're about to get into that safe. His stocking cap was drenched with perspiration. He had seen his father working with this blowtorch so many times. Never could have he imagined that it would be so exhausting. Or maybe that it was the excitement building inside him as he held the flame to the last quarter inch of metal. The thrill was indescribable. Barely a thread remained between him and the final realization of the greatest plan he would ever be a part of. It was so many things all at once: victory, justice, revenge, not to mention a boatload of money. And the piece tumbled to the carpet, and he was staring in the open flank of the lockbox. Darren positioned his flashlight so Griffin could see inside, careful not to touch the red hot edges of the hole. He reached in and removed the safe's contents. There were some papers, a handful of collectible coins, and $300 in cash. All five team members rifled through the box and everything that had been removed for it. And the Bambino was not there. Darren put all their agony into words. Bing, you idiot! Where's the card? I thought it was in there, Griffin shot back. He was almost too shocked and upset to argue with Darren. I didn't burn into this thing for my health, you know. Pitch shook her head in grudging admiration. This guy, Swindle. He's one tough nut. He beat us, Savannah admitted sadly. This is not over yet, Griffin vowed. The auction people expected to pick up that card today. It's in this house somewhere. This is just great, Darren seethed. I nearly fell off the roof. There's a vicious dog chewing their way through a door, and now we've got no card. How could it be worse? Ding dong! Lamar, the doorbell rang. Lamar Fontaine pressed the button for the second time. Ding dong! The house was dark, but he could have sworn he saw movement in the front room. Besides, he was a bonded courier entrusted with receiving and delivering an item worth as much as $1 million. People did not stand him up, even when he was hours late. He rang one more time and then tried the knob. It turned, and the door opened wide. Oh my. The feeling was too familiar. Fighting his way through cotton wool, struggling with that terrible "where am I" feeling, and then Swindle's front bush was all around Ben Slovak. Uh-oh, he's waking up now. Oh no, the heist! There was hooting coming from across the street, and he struggled to remember what that might mean. The signal! Why would Logan be giving him the emergency signal? He looked up and saw the answer. A tall man was letting himself in through the front door. He pulled out the walkie-talkie and pressed the button. Griffin, psh, psh, there's a guy coming into the house. We know, came a whispered reply. Is it Swindle? No, definitely not Swindle. Psh, it must be somebody looking for Swindle. Cautiously, Ben crept up the steps and peered through the side window. The newcomer was in the foyer. Mr. Palomino, called the man. Courier service, Mr. Palomino. He crossed the hall and opened a door to peer inside. What happened next was an image so horrible that it would remain forever burned into Ben's memory. Oh boy, I wonder what's going to happen. And that's the end of chapter 23. Well, looks like we're in the peak of the action here. We call this the climax. All right, boys and girls. Until next time, have a great day.